Thanks, Sachin. I'd like to thank you all for joining us as we deal with loss of our beloved Ashwin. Ashwin, I call him Nana. Some call him Ashwin Uncle. Some call him Ashwin Mama, Ashwin Kaka. But he was Bablo for his mom, my grandmother Gajiba. We call him Nana because he was youngest of 10 children of Dayalji and Gajiba. Sachin already mentioned he was one of the twins that survived the birth. He was strong from the birth, and we already know what happened with that utensil story. I will try to talk about a few things from his early years. You have known him after he immigrated over here, but I learned about his early years from my dad, who is only 2 years older than him. My memories about him starts when I was very young. Growing up in India, in our house in Halar, we heard about how Ashwin and our cousin Shirish, who you just heard, were the first one to go to America. They were engineers and were the star of our family. So from the young age, both of them were the hero for us. We followed them. We wanted to be engineers from those young age by following them. Gajiba, my grandmother, always talked about Nana. I remember her telling me that she will be busy cooking this large extended family in the evening for, as I said, for the large family. And by the time she could finish cooking, Bablo will go to sleep without eating. I also saw all of his track and field trophies in our house and realized a Desai was strong enough to participate in track and field. Desais are usually only good at sitting and talking. We are never good at any sports. This was a unique Desai who was busy in track and field. You may not know, but this is what my dad was telling me, that growing up, he was also very active in our town in drama, as you say, Natak in Gujarati, on the stage activities, which was another unique for a Desai. And I have a good idea why he was busy up there, but that's between him and God. I first met him when he visited India in early 70s. I remember this particular incident very well. A beggar had come to our house, and our grandmother Gajiba, was cooking, and she got up and gave him flour, and the beggar wanted rice. That made Nana so angry, so mad. He got up and he chased him out of the street and told him never to come back again. And I said, why did he do that? He said, my mother was cooking and got up to serve you, and you treat my mother like this? It was important to him that his mother was treated with respect and did not care who it was, and if that required chasing him out of the street, he will do that. My dad also shared with us that Nana was not afraid to stand up to anyone, even if it was standing up to elders. While they were teenagers in Halar playing marbles in the street, in one occasion, one elder gentleman, so now you remember, he's a teenager, I don't know, maybe 15 years old. So one elder gentleman, probably in his 50, I know I'm 50 right now, but at that time I'm comparing a teenager, Nana, versus somebody 50, tried to interfere in the game, and Nana lost it. And without being afraid of any consequences, picked up a fight with this gentleman. And I know that person learned his lesson, never to interfere again with this fearless teenager. Another thing, growing up in our village, in our farm, he loved horses. He loved to take care of horses, riding horses and horse carriage. I'll now talk about his 8 years in the US. So after he settled down in US in 70s, his first desire was to make sure all of his brothers, sisters, nieces, nephews can come to America and settle down here as well. He did everything to make sure all of us would come to USA and settle down, even if that required him applying multiple times, like my dad. Due to how his name was spelled, I think he applied about 5 times for my dad. But it didn't matter. He applied and made sure my dad was here. Only thing he wanted to do was help, even if that required him to pose, and until somebody already talked about it, as someone else on phone interview so they can get a job. I know he did this for 2 individuals. I remember one time my dad was going for a job interview after coming to US. Nana was driving him to the airport. While driving, they ran out of gas. Typical Nana. And he said, Arun bhai, I have to make sure you get to the airport. He ran home to get his other car. So he would do anything to make sure he took care of his brother. I can go on and on about everything he did. When in 80s and 90s, we all were getting married, he made sure he came to all of our wedding, even if that required flying to India. Most of us are living in California, so every time he was close by California or Bay Area on a business trip, he would make a point to visit us. We all know about how he lived his life and helped all of us, but this was all possible because there was someone else, someone who at home was taking care of his family. This was our Nani, Kalpana. She was sacrificing her life for our family, and today I want to thank her for all her support. I pray to God that God will give you strength to survive this tough time. We will be with you, Ami, John, Amit, and your grandchildren all the way through this tough journey. He was the most happy and pure person I knew. I never heard him complain about anything. He always said he was lucky that he was born in this family. He also said that he was happy that we all were doing good. He also told us that we should pick up one hobby. Whatever he liked, he believed that this will help us cope with stress of our busy lives. He always said that he was from the village where we used to go on horse carriage, and now he was lucky enough to drive an Audi. He was satisfied. If there is one thing I learned from him, it is that he knew how to live his life. He truly enjoyed it. He passed away doing what he enjoyed the most, playing tennis. I'm sure he was also telling some jokes till his last minute. Today, as he has left us, we will always remember his smiling face, his joking nature, his love for the family, his desire to help others at any cost. Nana, we miss you. We already miss you, and I hope I will be able to do some of the things you did for family and the extended family.